Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Avatar: The Legend of Korra, Season 1, Episode 7. Yes, last time again, I thought we were going to get a very easygoing episode. An episode in which we're just concentrating of this irrelevant tournament, in my opinion. And yeah, let's maintain that. And that was it. And then we're going to have our serious episodes. And like how at the beginning of the series is kind of like too serious to silly, too serious to silly. I thought that was the dynamic I was going to get from this series. Obviously, I was completely and utterly wrong. We got a very serious episode, and yes, when the episode shut me up is when they use the tournament. They use this, this tournament as a background, as a just an idea, and it's not the main plot line because it never was intended like that. Other stuff that we got in this animation is what is intended. Which is something I'm thankful for because yes, I did not care about the tournament. It was nice to see them advance, but honestly, it wasn't that relevant. And yes, for a good reason because it wasn't relevant. It wasn't supposed to be relevant. The relevancy belongs to Amon and his equalists, which are acquiring more and more power, and obviously they are becoming bolder and bolder. So we can see that in the last episode, and I am fascinated by that idea. I like it. I am happy that I was wrong about this show because yes, if I were right, it will be just boring stuff and I wouldn't care about last episode. I care now because it gave me something to care. It gave me more stuff for me to care. So yes, I am really seriously happy with how the last episode was developed. But obviously, I just spoke about that in the last reaction slash commentary. So let me just remind you that if you enjoy the content of the channel, please consider a subscription and turn notifications if you want to get up to date with whatever we're doing with the channel. If you enjoy the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment, so I know what you think about my reaction, the episode, or my commentary once you see it. The link in the description is obviously for the reaction, alongside with my Twitter and my Patreon. I am still working on that one, so there is not going to be much in that place. But anyway, I think I'm just speaking way too much, so let's cut this presentation short and watch the video, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the 7th episode of the series. And again, obviously, the pattern that I choose to believe it's obviously not true. We're getting a lot more serious episodes. They are not taking their time just to present the world, to be silly, and in the end just give you the villain. No, they are actually now developing the story or developing the plot in this case. And I like where the plot is going. We got obviously the suspicious. We presented these suspicious characters way before, so you don't have to think much about them. You know them, you introduce them, but they are really not essential in the moment they are introduced. You don't think much about it. You just think more of a plot device than anything else. They are not characters, they are plot device when they were presented. You don't suspect anything, and that is the point of their presentation. Okay, we're going to pretend again that they need money. This guy has money. We're going to give an excuse to present this guy, but that is just it. He was just money. Back then, he wasn't important. I don't even remember his name, not even the name of his daughter. So they were that irrelevant. And while the story developed itself in the background, the equalists and this revolution, or the idea of a revolution, the show was kind of concentrating you on the least important one, so you don't suspect in the moment they are going to strike. In this case, the bending tournament. And that is exactly what they did, what they achieved actually, to deceive you, or at least they deceive me. I don't know if you guys, when you saw it the first time, would say, "Oh yes, okay, they are going more for the tournament than anything else." Because I did believe that they were going for the tournament and not what it was, what I thought it should be really important. So yes, they succeed. And now they are taking these two characters that are completely irrelevant, that they were again not characters, they were just plot devices, and they make them characters, they make them important to the story. First, Sato, the owner of these Future Industries, if I'm not mistaken, is the name of his industry. He is just manufacturing these weapons for the Equalist, but nobody suspects him because he is smart enough to not do it in the opening. He's just taking a secret factory and doing there this secret weapon or the weapons that they develop. None of the other factories. And he was even smarter when they planned the evidence in another factory, in a factory belonging to a competitor. Okay, let's make a little connotation here before going to the story. There are way too many cues here. There are way too many clues here. That this is obviously an heir of the cabbage guy from Avatar: The Last Airbender, for the type of vestment, from the way they dress, by the way they talk, and yeah, those are obviously the cabbage owners, let's say. And especially, obviously, the statue in front of these industries. Oh, just the guy with the kind of cabbages holding one up to the sky. Yeah, I love that running gag. It's stupid, it's irrelevant, it makes no sense, and I love it. Because it's not in your face. If you never watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is a huge mistake because that is a great series, but let's pretend that it's somebody that wanted to watch only Korra and not Aang. That is just it, a gag, a funny gag. Okay, it's funny, but that's it. But for the people that watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, is a little bit more, and I appreciate that. They are not making a joke that feels weird. Well, it's kind of weird, but it doesn't feel forced that you need to know all this background. It's weird, but it's funny even without the context. It's funnier with the context, but it's funny without it. Anyway, closing that little chapter. Again, the industry competitors, and they are justifying all of that. He is a smart guy. Sato is a smart guy. He's so smart that even by the end, when we thought that there was a betrayal in the Equalist, it was actually not. Thanks to the dialogue, we figured out that yes, everything that they discovered was planned. They wanted to capture this group of metal benders, Chief Beifong, Tensei, and obviously the Avatar Korra, so they can, I don't know, do whatever they want with them, or put them on a, I don't know, take away their power, I guess. That is the more accurate position that I can think of. And that's the point. That's how intricate this plan is. That's how impressive the intelligence of these I want to call it anarchist group, because they are kind of similar to anarchy that Amon represents. He is obviously the head of the group. So they are incredibly smart, incredibly resourceful, because yes, they have a full industry on their side. And while they do not invest a lot of money, but obviously the money that they make thanks to the automobiles, that's what gets them. So yes, it's obviously they are well funded, they are well organized, they are well thought. Their strategies are pretty amazing, to be honest. Obviously they didn't count on the sentiments that can be mixed within people. Obviously Sato loved his wife, and the loss of his wife was what pushed him to this revolution, because it was on the hands against fucking firebenders, always ruining. So far, the only motivation I have seen is firebenders. Earthbenders, I haven't seen. Oh yes, an earthbender killed my family, that's why I joined this revolution. Perhaps we're going to see that in the future. Perhaps they are more, I don't know, intriguing this to the to the story, or waterbenders. Oh yes, a waterbender just destroyed my family. No, none of them. Always fucking firebenders, man. Always. My God, didn't they learn the lesson for the 100 Years' War? Anyway, obviously I'm joking here. It's nothing personal. But anyway, yes. Moving on, moving forward. They didn't count on the sentiment value of relationship between father and daughter. Obviously, he wants his daughter to be with him. But Asami is smart too. And Asami took the advantage of these feelings that his father has for her, obviously the love he has for her, and she just took advantage of this, and she freed the Avatar, she freed, well, all the companions of the Avatar. And her boyfriend, obviously, among those. I don't know the real motivation behind this action of Asami. I don't know if it's this sense of justice, or it's just, again, the sentiment and value that he puts on the relationship between, I don't know if her boyfriend, or the Avatar, or the world, and she understands that the world is more important than the love that she feels for his father. Or perhaps it's the feeling of betrayal of her father. Because, yeah, she believed that her father was completely innocent, that he was not damaging anybody, and he was just, a businessman, and that's it. I don't know which of these factors really will give the push to Asami to take action. Or perhaps all of them, or perhaps some of them. But there are several things that we can interpret here, and that is what I like, that you can put your own values and it could make sense. It doesn't feel forced, because any of these could make sense. But yes, the resolution is by the end that obviously Bayfon is going to abandon the police force, and they are going to track down Among and the rest of his minions, so they can put down all of this. And obviously the personal motivation for Bayfong is that all her metal benders were captured. And that is, again, it speaks with this little, without telling me, oh, she's responsible for her men, oh, she's appreciated of her men. No, but thanks to the action that she's going to take, thanks to this, the way she speaks about their men, I know that she appreciates them. Again, it's showing, not telling. Which is something I appreciate, and I like. I like that she doesn't use them just like pawns and say, okay, yes, I don't care about them. But no, they actually hold a value as people and not just as objects. Because yes, it could be interpreted like that, and I don't think anybody will have noticed. If you just say, okay, I need to capture him because he's going to put in danger Republic City and the world. But no, she add that part for her metal benders. So yes, basically that is the episode. Again, it's escalating. The situation is escalating. And they are developing weapons, so not even metal benders could stop them. This pure platinum metal that is obviously has, I don't know, it's harder to bend because it's purer, I guess. Again, I'm not an expert in metal, so that is my point of view. But obviously there are certain things that are silly in this episode. It's not always serious. And yes, I'm going to speak about the silly moments. I like how Bolin is just so happy in a mansion, because I guess he was never even close to a mansion. So yeah, he's happy. But poor servant, I mean, come on. He just dry you and you're just going to jump back into the pool. Come on, man. They don't pay him enough. I don't think the servant is going to be very upset if they were captured. Obviously we have that silly moment, but every moment with Bolin, even in the serious situation, is silly, and I like him about that. I like that about him. Another silly moment is obviously the jealousy part between Korra and Asami, which obviously end up with nothing, because yeah, they figured it out, or at least Korra figured out that Asami is not this cutesy, this delicate flower that she thought that Asami was. But no, she is very badass, and we saw that in the end of the episode. Yeah, I have to speak about cars because I love cars and I love driving. I would love to have that amount of money just to build a freaking race, well, not a race car, a racetrack, and buy me some racing cars and just going like crazy, because I love that fact. I love it, and I would love to be able to do that. Obviously, I don't have the money to even think about that. Well, to think it, yes, but to build it, no. Perhaps Scalextrics, that will be pushing it. But anyway, yes, I love that fact. And of course, again, during the serious moment, and this is nothing that the showrunners intended to. Obviously, this is a very serious situation, but I could keep thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And the invisible guns thanks to 4Kids, that they erase the guns in Yu-Gi-Oh! And they say, oh yes, I'm going to point him with my invisible gun.
Don't move a muscle or we'll shoot you with our invisible guns. I'm too rich to die.
There's no way he could have survived that fall.
Yes, obviously they are doing this because they need to control the metal that they bend. But from my perspective, it's kind of silly. And it reminds me of that. It reminds me of the moment of that ridiculous stuff with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Censorship. And obviously, now that I remember, yes, I would love to put on some Eurobeat on that track race. I would love to do it. If it's not blocked, I'm going to prepare a couple of videos of this. If you don't see the Eurobeat... in this moment it means that the copyright won, and I cannot well, pause it, and I will pause the normal video. If I can, well, you already seen it. But anyway, yes, I want to speak about a little bit in the end. Again, the characters that were irrelevant before, Sumi and Sato. Sato obviously was just a plot device, and I love the fact that they are giving a character. Is a villain. It makes sense when you start to think about it. Asami, I did not even remember her name. It was so irrelevant that I did not remember her name. And I didn't like her, I didn't hate her, it was just that. It was bland, it was nothing. And this is something I said in my previous commentaries. I don't remember which, but I said this. She's so bland that, yeah, I don't care. I don't care what happened with her. But in this episode, they gave her a little bit more of a personality, and they gave her a little bit more of interesting stuff with her. So yes, I am starting to like her a lot more. So yes, I feel bad because she lost her father. I feel bad for all the situation that she's going through, but that is an incredible improvement of being completely indifferent. So I like that they introduce characters, but they are not just plot devices, they are important characters. They are people we need to look after, and we need to be attentive to them if they are given a name. So that's why I'm still curious about how this politician is going to be involved into this, because he obviously has an agenda, but I don't know which side his agenda is. If it's with the revolution, with these equalists, or is with Korra, but he wants to gain something else from her for himself, but in the end he wants to stop the equalists. I don't know, and I am intrigued by that, and that is something I want to know about more. But I think I really exhausted the topic of this one. I hope you enjoy it, and yes, it's an intriguing episode, and I cannot wait for the next one. And oh yes, something else before I forget. I am starting to like Korra more. Her feelings are starting to see that yes, you need to look out for somebody else. It's not just only you, which is something that honestly, that is what I have been seeing from Korra so far. Yes, she has some selfless sentiments, but the majority of them are just me. Perhaps that's why. Oops. That's perhaps why I didn't like her. So yeah, but I'm starting to like her more, especially for the last, I don't know, the last minute of the episode. But yeah, as I said before, I think I really exhausted the topic of this one. I hope you enjoy it, and let me just remind you that if you are not subscribed, please consider a subscription, give me a thumbs up if you enjoy the video, and leave a comment so I know what you think about the episode, my reaction, or the commentary in general. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the link is in the description below, alongside with my Patreon. Again, I'm still working on that one. But anyway, yes, I think that's it. I really have nothing else to say, but thank you for your attention, and well, see you on the next one. Bye.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, give it a like, so the algorithm from YouTube will help me out. And check my other videos, share them, and also why not subscribe to my channel and join this community. And as always, I want to thank you for your attention, your likes, and even your dislikes, your comments, which is something I always look forward to read. And yeah, once more, thanks and see you on the next one.